Hi, I'm Shawn Lynch. I'm joined by Shawn Jansen, and this is the Shawn and Shawn Show. We made it through a long season. We're approaching the end of February here. That means it's playoffs. Number of teams got in. We got a few playing games. We got a couple home teams. Long introduction into the playoffs too with the show yesterday.
Yeah, I think the show just ended for the Sac Joaquin section. It took 90 minutes before they even got to the Division One, and I sat through the whole thing.
Right. It was funny listening to some of the stories about the kids losing interest over the course while they were waiting for their bracket to come up. Had to go shoot around just to stay loose.
Yeah, the Golden Valley girls, they had sat down, and I think they started practice at 4. The show came on a little bit after 5. Kind of gathered to watch a little bit of it, but 20 minutes in, one player got up to go shoot around, and another player got up to shoot around, and eventually kind of had to stop watching, and the coach, Matt Thiessen, had to leave and go to an all-league meeting before they even got to announce the Division II bracket. So it was a show that never quit, but, Joe Davidson, Mark Dennis, they do a great job, and they really dissected those brackets, each and every one.
And if we know anything about rambling on, it's us. So.
Yeah, we haven't even got to Sight and Sounds yet.
Let's throw it there now. All right, we're going to go ahead and do a mini breakdown of the bracket ourselves, although we're going to just stick with our teams. Let's start Division 1. Got the Merced boys on the road, 19 seed.
Yep, they're going to travel to Stockton Friday night in a play-in game. No real respect here for the CCC boys. You got the CCC champ Turlock playing in a play-in game tonight. They only earned the 15 seed. Golden Valley gets a 19 seed in D2, and Merced a 19 seed in D1. But you know what? I kind of agree with the section here. It wasn't a great year for the CCC. If you look what they did in their non-conference schedule, not a lot of signature wins for the conference, and so they kind of had to pay the price, and they're going to have to play some tough games early in the playoffs.
Yeah, a little known fact: no 19 seed ever won a section title before. What do you think of this matchup here, though? It seems like a winnable game on the road for them.
Yeah, you got both teams coming in at 17 and 10. Merced and Chavez we're talking about. I think the big key for Merced here is they're Chavez has a 6'5" kid, Lewis Hayes, who's averaging 18 points a game. Merced hasn't had to face a lot of dominant big men in CCC play, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, because they got another guard that's averaging 17 points a game. I mean, put those two together, that's 35 points and probably over half the points that Chavez is scoring on the year. The guard, Justice Harris, I think he's made over 40 three-pointers, so he's a good outside threat and can help stretch the floor to open up things inside for Hayes. So I can see Merced doing a lot of double teaming down there and trying to keep Hayes, make him kick it out, make other people beat him, make Chavez beat him from outside.
Yeah, I think the key for this particular Merced team always comes down to that defense. If they can deny the ball and not allow easy entry passes into the post, they're probably going to have success here. They can run on just about anybody, and their offense always gets going when they're playing good defense and kind of getting those transition buckets going.
It's interesting looking at the bracket because you look at Turlock, they get a 15 seed and they play Edison. So they get this home game and this play-in game, but then they get the rougher matchup against Sheldon, the number 2 seed, if they win, as opposed to Merced. And Wood Creek's really good at number 3, so it's probably not the best area here, but sometimes you get a number 3 seed where there's that big drop-off between 2 and 3. I don't know if it's necessarily here with these two teams, Wood Creek and Sheldon, but it's interesting to see. I mean, sometimes I'd rather be that 19 seed and go on the road and get that easier second game.
Basically what we're saying is Turlock was really done no favors as the league champ.
Yeah. Let's move on to Division 2. Rodriguez and Golden Valley. These two teams know each other.
Yeah. Rematch of last year's quarterfinal game, correct?
Yeah, it was a second round game. Rodriguez actually knocked out Golden Valley in that second round and then beat Merced in the semis at Sleep Train Arena. We have Lee McNeil and Isaac Daniel, and we'll talk to them in a bit about the rematch and their season, but they talked about, they wanted this game, a chance for revenge against Rodriguez.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we've talked in extents about Golden Valley losing all 5 starters from last year's team. Clearly, Rodriguez is not the same team they were a year ago. They got the 14 seed and earned themselves a play-in game also. So it should be interesting. Really fast-paced team a year ago. I'm curious if they got the horses to still play that way this year.
It looks like it. I mean, you look at, they're a 14 seed, but they had 19 wins, so still impressive, and Rodriguez usually plays a decent schedule. They're guard-oriented. Their top 3 scorers are all guards, led by Kyle Williams, who's averaging 17 points a game. I don't know that they have the big men that they had last year that kind of get Golden Valley problems inside.
All right, you've heard our take on it. Now let's hear what Lee McNeil and Isaac Daniel have to say.
All right, we're here with Golden Valley's Lee McNeil and Isaac Daniel. You guys are getting ready for your playoff game. Tell me, what was your reaction when the brackets come out last night and you find out you have a rematch with Rodriguez?
Well, honestly, I wasn't even going to look at it, and Isaac just sent me a little link to it, and I watched it, and I was very surprised when we saw that we're facing Rodriguez again. I thought it was a little good chance to get a little payback from last year.
Is that how you usually get your information, is from Isaac?
Yes.
Text messages?
Yes. Yeah, text messages.
Talk about coming into this year. You guys lose all 5 starters from last year. You guys are on that team. Talk about developing and getting comfortable in your new roles this year.
It was a long process. Coach is always talking about the process since day one. We just worked through it basically, and game by game we get a little closer and closer together, and that's how it's been throughout the whole season.
Talk about going into this year. A lot of teams didn't pick you guys to make the playoffs or fight for a league title. How gratifying was this season for you guys, doing what you guys were able to do and making the playoffs and continuing this successful run for Golden Valley?
Like Isaac said, we kept on working through everything. Like, the tournament just helped us a lot, made us come together more as a team, and when we came into CCC, we knew we were going to do good, so we just played like it.
Let's go back to the last game of the year against Merced. You guys are down 11 points with 5 minutes to go. It wasn't looking good for you guys. Talk about how you were able to come back, score the last 12 points of that game to win that game.
I think it's just resilience. Coach Salon's always talking about resilience. After a game loss, he'll come into the locker room after the game and he'll just talk about how resilient we are as a team and we will bounce back, and that's what we did.
How big has Lee been in some of these end of the game situations, especially the 2 games against Merced?
Oh, huge impact on the game. Very, very necessary for us to come out with the victory those 2 games.
So you guys are down 1 with about 30 seconds to go. Coach Hunter calls a timeout and he draws up a play for you, Lee. What's What's your action? What are you thinking during the huddle before you guys go out on that court?
I'm thinking, well, Isaac, you better give me the ball, one for all, and I had to finish. I really wanted the victory, and we happened to win it.
You guys recently had a challenge on campus. You went up against Camille Flores in a 3-point contest.
Oh yeah.
Was that nerve-wracking, or did you know you had that title all the way?
Nah, me and Camille, we know each other since middle school. I knew I was gonna win though. No offense to Camille, but
How fun has it been at Golden Valley with both the boys and girls doing well this year?
it's been fun. We have competitions in weight room and stuff like that. Just when we see each other, we make fun of who's gonna win next game or this and that. It's just been a blast throughout the whole season.
Do they have one up on you since they won the title this year?
Yeah, they do.
Talk about now that it's playoffs, how does it change? How does the intensity go up for you guys getting ready for this game?
Well, we were talking this at lunch today, and Coach Hunter told us we have to come out fighting. Win or lose, we have to come out fighting, and if we can just rebound and attack them, I think we will win.
All right. Well, good luck this week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the D4 boys bracket. We got Delhi as the 17 seed traveling up to number 16 San Juan, and the winner gets number 1 Capital Christian.
Yeah, quite a reward. That's where you don't want to be in the play-in games, is that 17-16 matchup. Delhi, good season under Eugene Drummond. They go 13-12. They face a San Juan team that's got 17 wins, 17-9. They're averaging close to 70 points. They put up a lot of points. They got a kid, Andrew Torres, who's averaging 26 and has shot almost 200 3-point attempts this year. So he's made about 87, so he's making about 45%. They're going to have to get out on him and keep him from scoring from outside.
Yeah, there's not a lot of high-scoring Southern League games over the course of the year, so they're really going to have to clamp down defensively and try to keep this one tight.
All right, moving right along. Let's go to Division 5. LeGrand boys kind of had a little luck on their side getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, it was interesting because they went down to the coin toss.
They were tied with Gustine at 6-6 for third in the Southern League.
Right. First of all, heck of a comeback for that program just to make themselves playoff eligible after starting 0-3.
0-4 in Southern League. They won
Right.
6 of the last 8, including last week against Waterford.
So they, instead of your traditional coin toss, they went evens and odds, and they opted for.
I really don't understand the difference in why you adding a second coin. I don't understand, because you flip the first one, it's still heads or tails whether you win or lose.
Well, you got to get it twice. So they went evens. They got 2 heads, and LeGrand is in. Exciting things for Coach Sanchez there in his first year with the program.
Really a dumb way to decide who goes to the playoffs. I mean, I've been crying for 15 years not to have coin tosses. The section set it up so that if you finish your league games early enough that you can set up a playoff game for that to break playoff time.
Right.
That's what was going to happen.
Yeah,
in the
El Cap almost had that scenario for them if things had played out differently.
Yeah, but the Grand wins the coin toss. They're in the playoffs, even though they're 8-12. They finished strong, so they're playing well right now. They go to the number 5 seed Argonaut, who's 15-12. Argonaut's got a 6'6" kid that's averaging 20 points and about 11 boards, and Ryan Halverson. LeGrand really relied on the 3-pointer this year. So my one concern there is if the shots aren't going like they weren't against Waterford, it's like they're kind of a pitcher with one pitch. Do they have that second pitch to get out?
Right. For them, it's all about tempo and pace. They got to try to get it going the track meet that they want it to be, and that will help, 1, tire out the big man, and 2, kind of keep the ball out of his hands to begin with. If they're unsuccessful there, it could be a long night on the road.
Yeah. One bonus, the second unit really played well in the second quarter against Waterford last week. Really pushed up the lead to about 20 points there in the second quarter. So if they can get that tempo and then not lose a step when that second team comes in, it would behoove the Bulldogs. Let's move on to the other Division 5 game. Finally, a team that doesn't have a play-in game. Actually, LeGrand's not a play-in game. They're not going to play till next Wednesday. But another game next Wednesday. Mariposa, the 3 seed, will face Hughes Academy at 9-12. Couldn't find stats on Houston County. I did find that they lost to Stone Ridge Christian early on in the season, which isn't good for Houston Academy because Stone Ridge finished 5-20. Really balanced attack for Mariposa. Their lead scorer, Jaden Battles, is averaging close to 12 points a game. Dalton Rockwood, 10.6. You got good athlete, Kamari Bailey, who can slash, and then you got Bradley Chambers, who can hit from outside.
Yeah, we were worried that a really good Mariposa team wouldn't be particularly rewarded coming out of the Southern League, but they fell to D5, and so here they are as the 3 seed. Really good shot here of running at least to the semifinals.
Yeah, you look at if they win this one, you face you get another home game against either Millennium or Delta Charter. I like Mariposa in that matchup. And then you're probably going to face Brookside Christian in the semis. That's going to be a tough matchup, but at least you're at a neutral site in Galt High School. So a chance for Mariposa to kind of make some noise in the playoffs this year. All right, let's move over to the girls. The game you're going to be at tomorrow. Another one of these 17-16 play-in games. Merced's been here before. They're going to face Edison from Stockton, who's the 17, and Merced at 13-10 is the 16 seed.
Merced kind of limping into this one a little bit. Took some body blows down the stretch, losing to Buhack and then the Golden Valley. We heard there was a little bit of team friction there. The question is, can they kind of regroup, come back together, and get themselves a playoff win? They were able to do it a year ago. Did it at home in a similar playing game fashion.
Yeah, I think they kind of rebounded. They beat Atwater, Pittman. They didn't play horrible against Golden Valley. They were kind of in that game for the most part. So I like Merced to get past Edison here. The problem is you win and you go face St. Mary's, who's won 8 consecutive section championships and is a national power.
Is that who was waiting for them a year ago when they won? Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't pretty when they faced St. Mary's last year. D2, Golden Valley earns the 7 seed. They'll play on Tuesday against number 10, Elk Grove. Matt Thiessen's been open with it that their schedule probably wasn't as tough as it could have been. That schedule was set before they knew they were getting Stephanie and Delia Moore. And so I think Golden Valley was happy with the seed they got at 23-3 to get that 7 seed, get that home game.
Yeah, I think all along we were hoping they'd be top 8, and 7 seed's not bad. They got a winnable game here against Elk Grove, and they get to play at home. So you can't argue too much with that. They knew it wasn't a particularly tough schedule, and the CCC, as we've pointed out many times, is not often rewarded. So I think they got to be pleased, and they got a good shot here.
Yeah, Elk Grove was, I think, 7-7 in their league, or 5-5, something like 6-6. But they're 18-9 overall. They've had some nice wins. They got a couple players that can score, and Myra Schulman, who's averaging 15 points a game, and Madison Wong, who's averaging 13 points a game. So we're really going to have to concentrate on that. What I've seen Golden Valley do a lot is they've been playing 2 bigs together. They'll go with Kayla Commons and Abby Croninger together, or they'll throw Mercer Cervantes in with one of those other players. And I think you're going to see them do that more. And you look at that trio, and they're getting about 14 points and 17 rebounds from the 3 of them, which goes along with their other scorers, Stephanie Moore and Camille, who are both averaging 14 and 12 together. So they're getting good production from their bigs, and if they can get some scoring, that's really going to help and take some of the pressure off some of their guards.
Yeah, they've been an excellent defensive team all year, too. So if they can keep it a nice low-scoring game, that's right where they want it.
I know Matt Thiessen was really bugging you that you hadn't seen them up until the midway point in the year, so he felt that you could actually now comment after seeing them.
And I did.
Moving on, Buhack Colony at D2, they're going to face Kimball. Kimball 27-0. Buhack Colony, the 14 seed. But talking to Shea Gentry, they're not going in intimidated facing this team because Merced played Kimball and played them kind of tight. Kimball hasn't played the toughest schedule, but they're fast and they like to press. So the issue is, can Buhack Colony hold on to the ball, control the ball, not turn over, and lead easy points for Kimball?
That's kind of been Buhack's thing all year. When they hold on to the ball, when they can stay under control, they've had success. They certainly have the athletes to be able to play with that, but they've lacked that primary ball handler all year, and it's come back to bite them in some of those big games. one thing they do have on their side is some playoff experience here. They went and played some tougher teams a year ago, so you know.
Yeah, they
gotta
went to
come in
Bear
with
Creek
some
last year
confidence,
and upset them, and then went and played a very good
At
Del Oro.
Del Oro, yeah.
So the big thing is, you know, Kimball's coming in without a loss, and that's really glaring when you're facing a team in the playoffs that's 27-0. So I think if they can get him in an unfamiliar position, get him playing from behind, it could be interesting if they can make that a close game. All right, let's go ahead and move on to D4, where we got Livingston as the 9 seed traveling to San Juan. Livingston at 12-8, and San Juan 22-6. But they've kind of played a small school schedule. They played a lot of those teams that end with Christian up there in Sacramento. So, chance for Livingston to go on the road and get a win here.
Yeah, I mean Livingston, you know, they've gone toe to toe with some of the better teams around here. They had Patterson, you know, both times really close in the WAC, and they've been a pretty consistent team all season long. So I think they got a fighting chance. They're not afraid to go on the road.
Shawn Sahota's had a great season. Tina Lau. I like Livingston in this matchup and getting through to face Brookside Christian in the next round.
We got a lot of 1 seeds waiting for us at our team's event.
All right, D5 girls. We got Mariposa. They're the 12 seed at 9-14 against the Millennium Falcons, 13-9. So we'll see if the force is with them. But bump. Not a lot of points expected in this game.
Both teams averaging right around 30 points per game.
Well, 38 for Mariposa, 36 for Millennium. So first one to 35 may win this one.
There we go.
Kristen Duberkeys leading Mariposa with 12 points. Millennium's got a couple girls, Sales and Hart, who are both averaging 12 points a game. So we know who to stop.
Right.
The last game, Gustine, your Southern League champs, they're going to be at home at 17-6. They went 11-1 in the Southern League. They're hosting Western Sierra, who went 15-11. The other team that's averaging right around 38 points a game. Nobody on their team averaging more than 9. Got to like Gustine here, especially the way they played this year.
Yeah, I mean they took the Southern League, you know, by surprise, and only lost 1 game the whole season there. They got one of the best kept secrets scoring wise in the Central Valley in Luna.
Yeah,
averaging around 25 points a game.
21. That's still good.
I like them here. When's the last time Gustine got themselves a girls basketball playoff win? So, you know, good things for them, and then maybe they can go on the road and try to surprise Capital Christian.
All right. Well, we'll see how many teams we got left after all our playing games tomorrow night, and then see who can get through the first round. Maybe we'll bring another show next week.
All right. Somebody makes it to the 3rd round, we'll be there.
All right. Enjoy the games.